I'm John O'Brien. She's Felicity Wild. This is Chalk Dust. Welcome to our first ever episode of Chalk Dust, and what a fantastic person to have with me today, Mrs. Felicity Wild. Mrs. Felicity Wild is an amazing educator. We're very blessed to have her at our school here, and she's the assistant principal teaching learning. She's been all over the place. She's been to different states and done a heap of different educational things in her life thus far, and she's been brought here to Casino, and she's leading the teaching and learning at our school. So thank you very much for agreeing to do this, Mrs. Wild.
Anytime.
You got that? Anytime, we will take it. No, I'm really interested. I'm keen to talk to you today because I'm really interested in you sharing your vision for teaching and learning for today's kids and for the future kids that we're teaching.
My vision for education is a vision that all children equally receive the education that they deserve. And all children, regardless of their home situations, their background knowledge, regardless of their own learning needs, they receive exactly what they need to be able to learn the best they can.
Yeah, how's that look? Because that sounds amazing. And in the world that we have, we know that we've got great diversity in many aspects, wealth, race, equity and be able to access resources for these kids at an early age and all that sort of stuff. How do you see that playing out in the real world, in the real classroom?
Look, in the real world, you know, the science of learning tells us and the research shows us that although children do have different learning needs, the vast majority of children learn the exact same way. And that's through really clear, explicit teaching, backed up by differentiation to support those individual needs. So I believe very strongly in ensuring that children have clear, explicit, direct instruction in everything that they need to learn. And then as you identify any extra needs that children have, we work to intervene and fill those gaps based on what those kids need.
Good. So this science of learning you talk about and the explicit direct instruction, have you had some good experience with this? And is this making an impact on all kids, like you said?
Yep, absolutely.
What about the top kids? What about the high flyers?
Yeah, so your high flyers, one of the things that I found over my many years of teaching is that we have these children who learn very easily. But what I've seen happen so many times is that people assume that they have all of the knowledge and they've already got everything. And as they get through the years, these gaps develop because the teachers have assumed that they can just do everything. So the first thing that you need to do is clearly identify what these kids can do and then fill any gaps that they've got. And then if those kids are able to already do what is in front of them, you give them opportunities to take that to the next level and to extend their learning.
Good. Because it's hard being a teacher, let's be honest. All the media sort of talks about how tricky it is to be a teacher. Is this teacher-friendly? So the science of learning, is it teacher-friendly to ensure that our teachers are able to do the best job that they can do for the kids?
Yeah, absolutely. And so one of the things that's come out in the research around the science of learning is that not only through explicit direct instruction do the children learn more and have a deeper understanding of the content, the teachers are learning more and the teachers are actually having a much better understanding of the content that they're teaching the kids. So the teachers that I have worked with around the explicit direct instruction approach have all said to me that they have learned more about what they're teaching because of the approach.
That sounds great, because I struggle with fractions. So if I'm going to teach fractions, you're telling me that this approach is going to allow me to be confident enough to teach the kids confidently enough.
Absolutely, it'll definitely improve your confidence, yes.
Is that a guarantee or what?
No guarantees. But when you chunk it down, and you break up what you need to learn into smaller parts, even you as a teacher, once you chunk that down and break it up, you will understand it better. And when you understand it better, you can teach it to the kids better.
Yeah, good. And I know you're a big advocate for equity for kids and making sure that all kids, receive what they need. So that the real strugglers that we've always differentiated for and had little activities there, and they went off into different classrooms doing something different to the other kids, and that How does this then really target the lowest kids that come into our school as well?
One of the things I love the most about the explicit direct instruction approach is that it's a first teacher, first time approach, which means that all children are in the classroom together. These kids are not made to feel different. They are exposed to the same content and they are supported through that really, really well. And so they may need a reteach, they may need that extra support, but they are doing that amongst their peers rather than being removed and being made to feel different and being made to feel like a failure. Because when a child develops a sense of failure in school, and if they develop that sense of failure early on, they carry that with them. If they believe they can't learn, then they won't learn. But if we teach these kids that they can learn, then they will learn. And that's huge.
I know how you feel. When I was little, I'm not a very good swimmer, and I think it was because they put me in the trouts swimming when I went to the trouts, and I had the little doggy paddle, and then you had the barracudas and the sharks and stuff, and they're swimming in the big pool, and I was in the little pool with the little, what are they, dicky dippers on? So tell me this. So you say it's backed up by evidence. Have you personally seen this working and
Absolutely.
the student results, not just results, but student engagement, students being able to ensure that they are learning where they should be? Are you seeing
Yeah,
this?
absolutely. One of the things that causes a child to quickly disengage is that they don't understand what's going on. If a child cannot understand what is being taught to them, they switch off, and that's when behaviours start. When you make sure that what you're teaching our kids is at their level and they can understand it, they will engage. Kids want to learn.
Yep.
Kids want to do the right thing. Yep. It's only when they feel like a failure and they feel they can't engage in the classroom that the wheels fall off. And so from what I've seen since working with explicit direct instruction, the engagement is through the roof. The so-called behaviours have all disappeared.
So that has played a big part.
Massively.
So why wouldn't teachers want that?
Because kids feel successful, and when kids feel successful, kids are happy, and when kids are happy, the classroom is a great place to be.
100%. Mrs. Felicity Wild, unbelievable. Dr. Nathaniel Swain, watch out. I think we've got a massive expert here, so unbelievable. Thank you so much today for talking with us, and I've learned a little bit, and I hope everyone else has learned a little bit. I'm John O'Brien. This is Felicity Wild. This was Chalk Dust.